Patty Tavatanakit.
Winner of the Chevron Championship in 2021, burst onto the scene with that major win. And then this year, it's been an important year for Patty Tavatanakit. Back-to-back wins early in the season. And she's really starting to, I think, find another gear with her golf and her career. And this weekend, Karen, will be important. I'm interested to see how Patty plays here.
And she is definitely a player that has another gear to her game in general.
Doesn't need driver here.
The group's going to be watched this afternoon by Incy Mehmet. Afternoon, Incy.
Afternoon, Richard. What an absolute honour. Tavatanakit from 155 yards. This is definitely the toughest pin you can get on one.
There's no question, Incy, with its location there in the back right, not much room behind it or past it to land, a short shot to spin back, and then very easy to catch those slopes around the front tier there to get it, and it rolls miles away from the flag.
So down at the bottom level of this first green is Patty Tavatanakit.
Probably saw that huge swell there. Watch this climb up the hill. Extremely slow putt. Kiriakou taking a good look too.
Is that coming back?
Yeah, I think so. Taxi.
Oh, that's so disheartening when that happens.
Well, she's talked about her mindset and how she's matured the last... And Karen, that mindset that she's been talking about, that new maturity, you got to somehow put behind you.
You do.
What's just happened?
Well, it's twofold. One, you feel like a bit silly because you did get the ball up the slope and it's come right back to your feet. So you have to put that aside to start with. But then you have to get on with the job at hand and not overcorrect and hit it way past.
Yeah, we have seen some four putts in majors and players go on to win. I remember here a couple of years ago, Brooke Henderson had a four putt and went on to win and didn't. It was Yuka Sasso, didn't she? This for a 5 for Tavatanakit.
I mean, Richard, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Tavatanakit started with a bogey on one yesterday and then went on a good march.
Yes, she did indeed. Let's hope it is a 5. It is a 4 putt to open round 3 for Patty T. And breathe. And from 2 shots adrift, 1 hole down, she's 4 back.
Any time that the ball is going to move towards the lake, it's difficult.
Patty T looking for a bounce back. Just come off a 4-putt double at the opening hole. Well, that's one way to bounce back. Give yourself a good chance for a birdie.
So it's potential for her.
Over at number 2, the final group. Patty Tavatanakit looking for the bounce back birdie. Said she putted well earlier in the week here after that opening round of 7 under par. You've got to putt well to shoot 7 under. And it has not been a good putting display over the first 2 holes for Patty.
No, it looked like the putter didn't stay long enough through, almost like she caught the...
Just having him put it back out in play. This game, Morgan, it will test you. I mean, a 4 putt, then that.
Just
brutal start here for Patty.
Third shot now.
Just 94 yards. You actually have a little bit of room left of this flag. That'll do.
Yeah, the patience may be wearing thin, though. You just saw her bashing her club against the ground a little there. Shake of the head now. Even if in this case it's for a par.
Absolutely, and this is awkward. Very difficult to read. Overall, not seeing much in it at all.
She had so many lip outs yesterday. Actually, last week she switched putters, and then this week went back to her old putter. But just even the idea of knowing that she's been switching putters clearly shows that she doesn't have just as much confidence.
Hard. And Patty Tavatanakit, she could use one to fall here. Well, she had a double bogey yesterday. Had the early double today at 1 with the 4-putt. She said, I kind of felt good that I lipped out so many. It means they're going to fall this weekend.
Well,
that's the positive way to look at it.
It means you're not missing by much.
Still a Stanford Yeoju Kim, and who knows, maybe one who will be one day hit on you. Patty Tavatanakit, big comeback for birdie at 4. Here she is at 5.
Needs something anyway. This front portion of the green is very narrow, so you need accuracy.
Very aggressive line. Missing that whole location to the left. But that'll be okay. She talked yesterday. She got off to a tough start. Said, I just tried to hang tough. And I think the best golf we've seen her play in her career.
A career that's seen her win 3 times. Make the Solheim Cup team on 3 different occasions. Patty Tavatanakit, long one for birdie here at 6.
Yeah, outside chance you would have thought. A double breaker left to right to start off with, coming back the other way.
Well, par might be enough to pick up a shot on Ayaka Budaway.
Lindsay hinted that this was on for Patty Tavatanakit. She's been waiting.
What did Incy say, Richard? Give it a crack?
Just like that. Caught a few
Oh,
leaves.
she unfortunately cracked a bit of this tree. Took quite a lot of power out of that shot. That may have gotten over those bunkers and just be in the rough. It's hard to tell from that angle. She may be okay, charts, since a little bit before the U.S. Open when she did make that change, so it sits better to her eye on the ground.
At the 6th hole, she's actually picking up a little bit of ground with the par as we go to 7.
If you weren't with us, 3 drop shots, first 3 holes for Patty Tavatanakit, trying to get things back on track.
Just looks a little short with that backstroke there. Not quite the, I mean, if you're looking at Ayaka and Kiriakou, they have very smooth back and through putting strokes, and Patty's today just looks a little bit short. Not quite the same rhythm of the other 2 in this group.
Yeah, the 4 back. Final group is at the 8th, and this is Patty Tavatanakit.
I haven't seen too many players take dead aim at this 8th hole. Everybody bailing out a little bit to the right, the safe place. But with as soft as these greens are, you can't take dead aim here.
Like that.
Now, being left of the whole location, a much better place to putt from. Doesn't have to be defensive from there.
Morgan, you're one of the few who knows what it's like to have had the start to a career like Patty T did, and she said it weighed on her, and it got to her. Expectations.
I'll never forget the first time that I played with Patty, actually at the Chevron Championship in Mission Hills when she was still an amateur, and it was, I was blown away by certainly her ball striking, and then for her to put together that championship in 2021, it was just really a breakout victory. Just has had...
Wow. And Patty Tavatanakit coming back here for par. Well, she was hoping for a 2 after that tee shot. She will remain 2 over for the day. 8 under for the championship. Headed to the par 5 ninth.
The Evian Championship to that point, you wouldn't believe that was the leader hitting that shot. That was by far her worst hit of the day.
It's a par 5, though, so it's not one that would potentially hurt her. Patty definitely has all the firepower to get home in 2 here. Working on shortening her arm swing just a slight bit to not get so loopy. This might run out of fairway up the right. I think she'll still be able to go for the green from that position. Looks like the lie is okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Sydney's finest next to go, Steph Kyriakou.
Going wrong, it starts to go quickly, and you start to make decisions quickly. Interesting play here from Patty, not opting for that high flop shot like Steph played, but what a brilliant creative shot. Bumping that into the slight upslope right.
Well, one last look at birdie then on this hole.
This would be the up and down of the day if it goes in.
Which it does. Moves to 9 under. Foodaway's already tapped in for her par, so out in 33. Main's 3 shot.
Well, out of position, Patty Tavatanakit trying to get back in.
Out of position, but a better angle coming from that left rough to that right hole location. Oh, just ever so slightly short. Doesn't get a bounce forward with the soft conditions. It's a good swing. Bag sitting by the putting green on Phoenix earlier this year.
Well, once again, Patty Tavatanakit, even with the wobble at the beginning, stayed calm. Very much in the picture. We could see a real potential of a 2-shot swing here with Foodaway leading.
Saw Ingrid Lindblad play from the more the ball is above your feet.
And I think just from previous play, Patty Tavatanakit's capable of actually carrying Kyriakou's ball. That's a difficult combo to say. Carrying Kyriakou's ball. There we go. So she should be ending up in that flat side as well, and not really aiming as far right, unlike what I'd expect Foodaway to do.
Right now, Patty is the only player in the top 20 over par today. Club twirl.
Wow.
And yeah, and NC, you called it. She nearly, landed that about 10 yards maybe short of where Steph.
And a par putt here for Patty Tavatanakit at the 12th.
Tough 3-putt here yesterday that led to a double bogey. Save today.
Opened today with a double bogey, but there she is. She is tied.
Made an incredible difference. A couple weeks later, finished 3rd at the Chevron Championship and continues to play impressive golf.
It's definitely a difficult stretch coming up, with 13 and 14 being one of the tougher holes.
Okay, that's sitting okay for Patty Tavatanakit. In tears.
And back we go to 13.
The best lie, in fact, out of the lot of them, and it's a great lie. 147 is the playing yardage and playing up from a bit of elevation, so this ball will be landing a much more vertical angle, so able to get this stopping quick enough. I'd imagine leaning on a 9-iron's quite a nice club. I just think 8's a little bit too much, especially with the temperatures increasing. I think she'll fancy this one.
Want to try and land it over the front edge. Yeah, lovely. Style shot, not something you really typically see here in Evian.
Well, things are tightening up a little bit at the top with the wobbles from Food Away. Tavatanakit could get a little closer.
Hoping to straighten things up. Had a good look what this was doing.
She knew straight away.
And putting is so hard, especially on these greens. It could just get in your head.
Tap in at 15. No one has played the par fives better than the American this week. 8 under for them now as Tavatanakit taps in. So Kiriakou and Food Away alongside one another again. Coughlin within 2.
This season. Back to the 14th and Patty Tavatanakit.
Yeah, 6 past the pin will start going away. Yeah. At 65. The ideal is short right of it.
You heard that? Ideally short right.
Yeah, and it should release a little from the front. Yep.
What you don't want to do is go 7 yards long. He'll give you a really awkward putt, but the front portion of this green is very much like a bowl. You've got a big slope just left this flag, so if you pull it a couple of yards, you're still okay, but distance control is superbly important.
Oh, it's just enough. That'll be okay. It's a miss up the left, and you. Patty should have gotten a decent read here.
Absolutely, it's pretty much the identical putt, I would say. If anything, maybe just allow a little less break, bit more pace. Don't want to fall in love with the lines with these ones. It's a very intimate green. Lots of spectators beyond there, all staring in and wishing this one in.
It's nice when you get a read from a putter as solid as Ayaka. I mean, she almost never hits a poor putt, has no side spin on her putts whatsoever.
There's some players you don't watch, right? As much as you might.
Not that you don't watch, but it's not as much of a sure thing as Ayaka hitting a solid putt. It's so repetitive and so simple.
It's not been simple for Patty today. Tough start.
Imagine similar to Rosang, no status anywhere really other than Epsom Tour, and looking for her first victory to change everything around.
Tavatanakit.
It's definitely a long par 5, but with a great drive, you've got a chance on getting on in 2.
It looks like it's sat up a little bit. She's missed the fairway on 3 par 5s today, but gotten away for the most part.
Back at the moment. That's kind of the magic number.
Look at the club out for Patty. Well, I think for a moment there was a thought in sea of going for it.
Absolutely. I think to memory it was Kiriakou first, but I think maybe she just went to the bathroom or something. So Tavatanakit ball should be a little bit more sat down, but I think it's worth a crack. I've got it as 238 yards, and that flag is only 6 yards on from the front edge, but you really have to start this right, further than you think, in fact, and it all cambers right to left and downhill too.
This is a driving iron that she has. And the club face just turned it straight over. She was going for the green. Oh, and that settled down into a really deep lie right along that rope line. Even from our crane camera, we have Noble being slightly up the left.
Talking about delicacies, she's been on this new diet, Patty Tavatanakit. No sugar, no fried fruit, no desserts. How do you do that when you're in France?
Except for those 3 things you mentioned. I love it.
That sounds like the worst diet ever, but I guess if you're an athlete, sounds about right.
I was told, Incy, that calories don't count here in France.
That is true, Morgan. You keep it up now. Left to right putt. I think it's more left to right than it is uphill, to be honest, so I'm expecting this to move a bit.
That has really been the story the last 2 days on these greens for Patty Tavatanakit, shaking her head. How does she stay patient? It's testing her. You can see how frustrated she is. Steph Kyriakou is our leader.
That's a funny reaction. She won't still be able to see where that golf ball is.
Patty T at 16.
It's an awkward number for her. Pitching wedge not enough, 9-9 too much, and there's the bunker in play. But in all honesty, it's not an awful leave.
Man, she's a bit confused why that went so long.
Major champions.
And here is the bunker shot for Patty T.
She won't be very thrilled with that effort there. I mean, think about the way that she has played.
Patty Tavatanakit began the day a couple shots back at -10, double bogeyed the first. This is the par putt. Needed that one.
Needed that for the scorecard and the confidence. And solid up and down.
She said she wants to have a memory like a goldfish. Very short.
A little bit off here and there, and Evian, it penalises you, but not this time round.
No, that's a great look coming up for her. She was actually tied second heading into the weekend last year and really fell away over the weekend. At least she stayed in touch here.
I think that may be the difference in where she is.
She's due one. Patty Tavatanakit. And again. How can she still smile after all this? Yeah, that's understandable.
Comebacks here. Final group at the final hole. A day that began with Budaway up by 2. She led by as many as 3. She's trailed by 1. She's back into a tie, and now Lauren Coughlin has joined leaders with that closing eagle. Patty Tavatanakit to go first.
And it's just a really difficult fairway to hit. It just cambers ever so slightly left to right. Thick rough on both sides as well. If you want to have a crack at this in 2, it's so important to hit the fairway. It's probably your only way of getting onto that green. Go on, thread it. You deserve it.
Flirting with the right here. Everything on the right side of this fairway kicks down towards kind of a grass bunker there on the right side of 18 fairway. The green in between her and the hole. How's Patty's lie here, Incy?
Not pretty. I think this is risky. I just think it's so easy to catch it heavy. I think she's backing herself with power here. Water just shy. Playing way left, and that's a fantastic result.
She said be good, and it is.
She went after that hard, pure power, as you said, Incy. We know that she has it. This is a big 2-putt here for Patty to get her into that second to last group.
She was the Rookie of the Year in 2021.
And maybe either being tied for the lead or potentially just one back might take a little bit of pressure off of her.
2 great shots from Patty Tavatanakit. This for eagle. Just a dreadful start with a 4-putt on her first hole. Double bogey. Made a bogey at 3, couple of birdies since, but opportunities missed.
Yeah, there's nothing that really gets in your head quite like starting the day with a 4-putt. Especially on these greens, Incy. She just hasn't been able to get any rhythm or momentum, even though she's had fabulous ball striking.
Well, if she makes this, then she'll get back where she started the day, 10 under par, and at the very worst would be 4 shots back.
Yeah, I just think, bearing in mind, she hasn't had an A game or maybe even B game. She's still stuck in there, which is a huge positive, although it won't feel like it. She knows how good she can be. Hopefully this will be the final putt just outside that right edge.
Just stay within striking distance. We've seen a lot of low scores here over the years, but she has to make some of those putts tomorrow if she wants to have any chance of coming from behind. 3-putt here at the last makes that task that much more difficult.
35 putts today. 7 on the opening and closing holes. And that's the last we'll see of that golf ball. A major champion in her rookie season of 2021. Has rebounded from difficult times on and off the course. She's become a winner again on the LPGA Tour, has a win in Europe as well on the LET. Not the day she was hoping for.